Went to Omsk, then got into EC, then beat everyone, took the belt, and this is...
Well, you know, it's like they say, champions are not created, they are born. Yes.
Were you born a champion or did you become one?
I feel like I've become something. And, you know, it's not like you're a champion in some very specific, narrow format like in sports. This feels somewhat global, doesn't it? You can look at this situation from a broader life perspective, your mindset, your principles, your behaviors, and your way of thinking, so to speak, right? All of this has been going on since kindergarten, school, university, and so on.
And the rematch season is open. Here we go. The rematch season is open. So, mates, that's a very strong statement you made. Can you mentally rank the fighters, regardless of how the matchmakers operate? How would you like to see this season progress? So, which names in order would interest you, regardless of who currently holds the title?
I need my rematches. I already told you, it's rematch season. Who did I have them with?
Primarily your wish to meet.
Yet it doesn't make a difference. That's so... That fight with Song wasn't a rematch. Song was just trying to steal my victory, you could say. It's Merab Dvalishvili and it's Sean O'Malley. Aljamain Sterling moved up to a different weight class, so there's really no point in discussing that right now. These are the two rematches. And plus, I'm also interested in Marlon Vera. These guys who are in the top 5, they're very interesting to me.
Did you want to lash out at Sean at the press conference, who was walking behind you? That photo went very viral.
I didn't see it at all. If I had seen that, certainly there would have been a big fight, no matter what, so...
No, he said something like, after this fight, we'll find out if Petr will fight bare knuckle, automatically implying that if you lose to Song, then your career is automatically over.
Yeah, but you see, he views it as if UFC is everything to him. For me, it's not everything, and I don't have the mindset that UFC is something I cherish so much, you know, that I can't see myself anywhere else in anything, in any other industry besides sports. MMA isn't all.
You know, a few years back, your interview went viral.
For him, it's just a game, but for me, this is my life. But, you know, nowadays I understand that sport is a particular stage of life, and after sports, there's also life. And also after MMA, there are many other sports where I might also participate.
You reposted a photo. I just want to talk about the caption. Nikita Mikhailov posted it where you're cutting weight, and it read, "A tough night, minus 10 kilograms. No S."
Well, all in all, I was cutting 10 kilograms. But the tough night for me, it wasn't really a night. Last evening, I cut 2.8 kilos. And actually, it was quite easy. But still, weight cutting is always like that, you know. It's not easy, figuratively speaking, is it? It's also a certain kind of... the preparation stage, which must be completed as a distinct part of the overall work. No, there was nothing additional. You see, I approached this with a lot of responsibility. And just like any athlete, you probably understand that you absolutely must make your weight class limit. If you don't make your weight class limit, you'll have certain penalties, sanctions, and so on. That's it. Professionally, you are obligated to make weight. If you're fighting for a belt, you need to make weight, and you even come in 50 grams over. You win the fight for the belt, but the belt isn't awarded to you for...
Is it crucial for you to hit the perfect weight, or are you fine with the tolerance, considering it's just minor things?
No, well, everyone works with a tolerance, you know. It's a moment when you need to make an exact weight, you make an exact weight.
But you filmed an interview with Nina Drama. Tell me about it.
I had a plan of activities I needed to complete. And one of them was an interview with Nina Drama. We simply arrived and several were planned. And I just went into certain rooms where it was happening.
These questions she asks are not planned, meaning they're not sent in advance. It's usually tough there.
Yes. But she had some really confusing questions there. Well, there was all sorts of alien stuff, you know, their own jokes. I just understood they were having their own fun, just trying to completely change the format. I had just been to the ophthalmologist to get my eyes checked. They gave me these glasses to keep bright sunlight out of my eyes for a few hours. And I drove straight to the conference wearing these glasses, and it turned out that
I'd like to hear and talk about our mutual friend, Tak, Ilias Kamzin, for whom we were all incredibly happy because he went to get a visa, got the visa, and flew to you on the very first flight. Were you happy when you found out your friend was flying to you?
well, of course, I was, first of all, I was surprised at first that Ilias was granted a visa, you understand? Of course, it was really cool when he flew out. Ilias has a certain energy of his own, you know, that he brings with him. He always has a speaker with music. He flew there saying, I'm in Miami, it was fun, it was great.
What do you think? He just got a 2-year work visa, I believe. Does he have a good chance to get into the UFC? We're not talking about big fights or goals, but simply getting into that organization.
Of course there are. Well, Ilias's fights are also so spectacular. They really stand and streak. They fight standing up. Many people, in principle, like this. So that's why to get into the UFC, you know, there isn't a specific clear-cut, a direct algorithm to be 100% certain. People get in there with losses, even after losing their last fight. So it's a matter of circumstances, the work of managers, the proper, shall we say, negotiation at the right time in the right place, and anything is possible.
Let's delve a little into the technical side. Zek, the hunting season is open. I'll name just 3 fighters and ask a few questions about them. Sean O'Malley, what you think makes him champion? He just dismantled Marlon Vera for 5 rounds. What makes this guy champion right now?
Marlon Vera is a very convenient opponent for Sean, and Sean chose, the UFC specifically picked Marlon Vera so that Sean would win. This was essentially expected. I essentially knew what can Marlon Vera really do. Marlon Vera also tries to fight standing. But Sean, in striking, is much more precise, sensitive, and diverse. That's what he showed, essentially. And Merab? Merab. Why didn't Merab get into a fight with Sean? Because Merab is an inconvenient opponent for Sean. You understand? Once again, I'm repeating myself. I'm only interested in those fighters who are, let's put it this way, in the same rankings where I currently am, where I've managed to get to, right?
Then you say a phrase, our office couldn't make it out, it sounded different. What did you say? A whole year? I haven't fought a whole year. A whole year, can we say you didn't fight for a year? And truly for a year it was like you didn't live? Of course you had your own life and so on.
No, why? I was living. On the contrary, I was living. I spent time, you know, with my family doing my own things, right? But still, a year without a fight, you know, I really missed those real emotions, all of them. I even, you know, at certain moments, this whole, so to speak, UFC theme, which was planned for the week, fight week, this entire week of fights, I basically gladly performed all these, let's say, activities and got some additional energy from it, you know?
Ilias sent a video. There's one where you're warming up and the Russian flag is hanging. That's cool. You know, it wasn't just neatly on a chair. You hung it on the wall, then went out with it. Is it cool to walk out with Russia's flag? There's a definite thrill in it when they finally let them walk out, because Dana White, I quote, said, I don't care what's happening. Stop pressuring the fighters. Let them walk out with their country's flag.
Of course, it's great. I've always essentially carried the flag, and it's very pleasing to me. I am, you could say, a patriot of my country. And in doing so, I also set an example for many, for the younger generation, and for those who are hesitant, you know, who just speak in general terms, right?
There's a cool video I want to talk about too. Video where you're giving an interview. Zayat is standing next to you and Moisan's like, oh bro, here's a fuck you. Do your kids really say dad needs to win another title? Do they really understand who their dad is, that he fights at a certain level? Did Denya really say like to Kostya?
Oh yeah, of course. Danka already understands everything. He knows because I told him, like, when I won the ACB belt, you were born then. And when I got the UFC belt, Kostya, you know, like Danka, he really watches when it's my fight week. He himself just scours all of YouTube. Both women and his wife get exhausted by him because he monitors absolutely everything.
He's your biggest fan. He says, Dad, you must...
Yes, he always calls me or he tells me, no, it's kind of like, I'm not really sure, but he does watch that. And he also watches podcasts where they break down fights, you know, certain moments.
And he listens to them and already interprets this information, you see. He then gives his own version of what he heard.
Does he want to go to fights? Did he ask you, Dad, will you take me?
He wants to, of course, he wanted to fly to America. Then he calls me, I'll fly with you. Then before the flight, he made a fuss. I explained to him, you have no visa.
Will he be able to, this is a typical question for big headlines, will Petr Yan become UFC champion again? How do you personally feel about this whole situation?
I feel so.
How much time will you require for this?
I don't know.
But are you ready to fight for 4 more years, 5 years?
Of course not.
How long is this term you give yourself?
A couple of years. I think that in a couple of years it's possible, and then we'll see. But I have a plan like this, and I'm sticking to it.
Can Shavkat become a UFC champion?
I think Shavkat, he has everything to become a champion. He's a truly unique fighter, 18-0 with 18 finishes. Well, it's just unique. How many UFC fights? I just don't know.
Can Arman Tsarukyan be UFC champ?
I also think that Arman can become a UFC champion. Arman has everything. He has skills and his age allows it, ambition. It's also a question of when this will happen. If Arman maintains that focus and mindset, people become champions at 37 and 35, but there are moments when people didn't believe it was possible at all, let's say, that it could happen. And it truly happened. If you truly believe in your own dream, in your aspirations, and actively shape it, visualize it, and work to bring it closer, then anything is achievable. If you yourself don't have faith in it, no one else will believe.
Can you answer this question for me? Coming back to Russia, you arrived here after 3 months away. What did you see? What here felt truly yours?
Well, look, generally speaking, yes, I do my training there, sometimes in Thailand. Then you fly off to train in the very place where you'll be fighting in order to acclimatize, so to speak, to get yourself mentally ready to adjust to the time zone, to the time schedule, to the time, yes, to the climate, right? But you're drawn back home. At home, there's family, relatives, close ones. This is your home. Our mentality is set up this way, that you were born here and grew up there. Many times I've had various conversations, moments, and offers to move somewhere, to live outside the country, in a different country. They say it's easier to train there and the fights are closer. Metaphorically speaking, your development would progress much more globally and much faster there. But I haven't made this decision for myself, so